January 22nd, 2011. Got my man Carlton Berkley here, former NYPD detective, retired. He ran for city council a year and a half ago in the 9th District of Manhattan. Ran for a state assembly this year. He's here as an activist to the community. He has his survival guide. I ran into him last week at our Sharpton spot on MLK Day. Chuck said he got something. I call him Chuck, so y'all be aware of that. Chuck said he got a book for me. He autographed it for me. He didn't give it to me. He gave it to me just now. His survival guide when the police stop him. I told him I don't like doing these shows because I hate talking about police brutality and all of that other stuff. Of course, there's enough people talking about it, but he wants to talk.
That's right.
Give him his platform. Talk to us, Chuck.
Well, since the last time I came here, I told you that while I was a member of the NYPD, I told you I joined the 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care. While a member of that organization, what we did was we came out into the neighborhood and gave workshops on what to do when stopped by the police, because all through our history we've always had problems being stopped by the police. You know, with the incident with Sean Bell, Amadou Diallo, Alberta Sproul, you had Eleanor Bumpers, you know, those are just a few of the cases, right? So while I was doing these workshops, right, I noticed, Norm, that a lot of people, right, it's hard to sit down at a workshop and take everything in that a person is saying. So what I did was I reduced it to writing. And what I came up with is this book right here, which is called What to Do About This. And as you can see on the cover, right, this is an everyday occurrence in the black and the Hispanic minority neighborhoods. This is an everyday occurrence, right, where we have our people and our youngsters put up against the wall by NYPD.
Why they put up against the wall?
They put up against the wall for various reasons. You know, and like I said, you know, and everybody else know that I'm a retired New York City detective, right?
I must let it be known, I work corrections. I'm still in corrections, 21 years. So I don't really want to hear too much of this shit, but we go at it. Let's go.
I hear you. Well, let me just say emphatically, though, first, right, that I am not against the police. While I worked with my 20 years, I worked with some of the best police you can have, and they came in all shapes and sizes and colors.
Exactly.
You know, so what I'm saying, is that not all police are bad. Right? And there's definitely more good police out there than bad police. But what we have to do, right, is come to the realization that there are some bad police out there. We know that. And we got to get rid of them.
What did you do when you was in a department and whatever you're going to tell us was going on? Got a display here, we gonna zoom in on in a little while. But what did you do when you was in the precinct?
Well, when I was on the police department and being a member of the 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care, along with the National Latino Officers Association, when you became a member of those two organizations, other police in the precinct knew that you was a member, and if they thought about in any way violating a prisoner or a person that they brought in, they wouldn't do it around us, because they knew that if they did, right, that we would be testifying against them, and I'd be a witness for, even if a person was brought in for selling drugs, a person was brought in for homicide, right? Just because they're locked up doesn't mean that they don't have rights. Police are not judge, jury, and executioner. All right? So by us joining the organization, members of the department knew that if they tried to violate anybody, and it wasn't going to get past us.
Okay.
All right.
So now tell us.
Okay. So what I did was, by doing these workshops for over 10 years, right? And I've been retired from the police department going on 7 years. I reduced the workshop, right, and writing to this book here. So now, and I sell it for $10. I'm not trying to get rich. All right. The only reason why I sell it is because I'm trying to reach 4 or 5 million people, and I'm not a millionaire. I sell a book for $10. Now there has been some professors that I have ran into from Columbia and Fordham who thinks that I could sell this book for $50, $60 easy. But my reasoning for selling it for $10 is because people need to read this, and people right now, we're in a recession. We're losing jobs, people are losing their jobs, their homes. $10 is not that much, and most of the time I give them away. You know, so inside this book, right, the table of contents, well, first of all, the first page says, rest in peace and unfortunately those who follow. At the top of the list is Eleanor Bumpus.
Yes.
Female black 66.
I remember.
You remember that case?
1984.
Right? Okay, right. Now, the list down, there's almost about 20 others, right? And just to read off just a couple of the names, you got Amadou Diallo, male black, 23. Malcolm Ferguson, male Hispanic, 23. Anthony Baez, male Hispanic, 29. Nicholas Haywood, male black, 13. Frankie Azuga, male Hispanic, 15. And as we go down, we have Sean Bell, male black, 23. Alberta Sproul, female black, 57. You remember that lady? That's the church-going lady that the police threw the Molotov cocktail in there and she had a heart attack and died. And then we ended, right, just before we ended Cal Coppin. You remember that case? Cal Coppin. That was a young male Hispanic, male black, 18, who was a little bit...
With the brush in his hand or something like that?
Right, and his mother called... Right. His mother called the police because he didn't take his medicine, and the police wind up shooting him. And Kelly, Commissioner Kelly, and I'm very still upset with him with this. When Commissioner Kelly said the mother called the police because she needed the police to come in and take him, but Kelly said that the mother said that the young man had a gun, and he wanted to play that. He played the 911 tape, but he never played it fully, so we never heard nothing about the mother saying that her son had a gun. Now, she did call the police because he was acting irrational, and she needed help. But Kelly said the mother called, alarmed the cops that he had a gun. Come to find out, the young man didn't have a gun.
Okay, how many names is this?
It's roughly 20 names.
Okay, yeah.
Right, now the last two names is Chris Ridley, male black, 23, Mount Vernon police detective, and Omar Edwards.
Now, we had that Omar Edwards conversation.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. And I ended with who got next. All right, because unfortunately there are going to be others that are going to follow in this line. You know, so what I did with this book was I took my workshop and I put it in the book. So with the table of contents now, right, is what to do when you are being approached to stop by the police anywhere, because people don't know that. And as I told you with this list, right, I don't believe Omar Edwards did anything wrong. The police are the ones that did wrong when it came to the Omar Edwards case.
We've had
just as well as the Sean Bell. But I want people to know.
Chuck, I agree.
Okay,
but you running down the block with a gun in your hand creates a problem there.
But you know what?
And no disrespect to the family.
But there's a problem. Right, there's a problem though when an officer may have to run down the street with a gun. Cops are trained to come upon scenes like that.
Yes,
and let's not forget, in our neighborhoods, you're gonna see plenty of male Caucasians running in our neighborhoods with their gun out. Them
and they get perceived, and you get perceived as being law enforcement. But can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
We're gonna let you get into
yes,
your thing here, because I'm just keep looking at you like.
Yes.
But don't shoot in that chamber there. Everybody makes mistakes. When the little kids pop up and the lady in the stroller and all of this here stuff, because when you're nervous and there's a split second, it's a split second, brother. Anything can happen.
Well, you said the magic words, though, Norman.
What was that? Train?
You said no. You said the magic word.
What's that?
Mistake. Well, this is what I'm here to tell you, Norman. I'm here to tell your viewers, right? If the police would simply say, "I made a mistake," all right, if they would simply say that, and the only time I heard that was by the black detective in the Sean Bell incident, but all these other instances, when have you ever heard the police say that it was a mistake?
But my issue is, Chuck, and I'm going to let you get into your thing, and this is wonderful, but guess what? What about all the incidents that go right? What about the fact that, guess what? We keep shooting our own. It wouldn't be these cops, wouldn't be in our neighborhood. All of this stuff wouldn't happen. Derek is standing over there with the 1 minute sign. But all of this stuff wouldn't happen in our neighborhood if we didn't bring this crap on ourselves.
And I agree with you on that.
If we didn't bring this crap on ourselves, and when you first said that, we've talked about this before, we got to do a workshop and we got to talk about the police brutality and all of this here. And the reason why I stay away from it is because guess what? We killing up our neighborhood. We shooting everything. These young kids is going to jail. It's not even a New York issue. It's sad, and we can't keep singling out the police when we need to police our own neighborhoods, and we need to stop this crap that's going on out here because they killing each other.
You're right, Norman.
20, 21 years old.
Norman, you're 100% right, but that's another show. We're here. I'm here to speak on. I agree with you.
What the police do?
Exactly. Because the police, it doesn't give whatever we're doing in our neighborhood. Don't give the police the right to shoot us down.
No, it don't. But guess what? It makes us look kind of crazy when white America look at us and hear groups talk about the police. The police. The only time our community can galvanize and come out there, people have gotten fame and fortune on the back of talking about the police. But guess what? They still keep shooting up the neighborhood, old people. So we wouldn't have all of this stuff here if they wasn't terrorizing the community. The old people was afraid to come outside. The young people afraid. I'm afraid to let my kids go down the block and everything. There's a lot going on. It's problematic, and there's multi-problems in the community. There's a result of this here. This crime and all of this stuff has been going on for a while, and you agree that the police is doing a marvelous job, and every so often they're never going to admit it for legal reasons, so on and so forth. And let's not act like we haven't seen this here in the department, but the reality is they're not doing bad. But we gonna come back after a break, brief message from the sponsors, and we gonna talk about it. Then we come back, we gonna get into all of this here and the stuff you got. But I gotta keep reiterating, my real problem is not the police. My problem is these young kids out here with guns, and you scaring people. Pull your pants up. We'll talk about it. We'll be back.